Collect Jurassic, and I'm here to talk about not one, but two different awesome Mattel dinosaur figures that just came out. I'm really excited about both of these. I can't even decide which one I'm more excited about. One would be the new Extreme Damage Tyrannosaurus Rex. The other one would be the Extreme Chompin Spinosaurus. Both you can see sort of have that Camp Cretaceous branding, though I'm not sure. They're both from Camp Cretaceous, but I got both of these figures here today. We're definitely going to unbox them and take a look. I'm very excited, and a huge shout out to the collecting community, the Jurassic collecting community, who helped me get these. We have Toy Adventures on Instagram. Cam, great guy, helped me get this Extreme Damage T-Rex from the West Coast. And then, of course, the Extreme Chompin Spinosaurus. No, it's not out here in the U.S. yet. This one is still only in other countries, and my good friend Tom Jurassic was able to help me get this from the U.K., and it arrived here this week. So let's go ahead and get started and looking at these figures. Which one do we want to do first? I'm going to roll the dice and say we're going to go ahead and go with Spinosaurus first. Again, this is a Extreme Chompin Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus, obviously from Mattel, always a very popular toy. And I think this one's going to be the most popular because look at this thing. I mean, look at the coloration. It looks awesome. Probably the best we've gotten yet. I did mention earlier this has Camp Cretaceous branding. So you have the characters. You have the background here, and of course the logos and all that stuff. The back side of it has the Spinosaurus render, kind of showing you how the action features work. Also have the massive biters, Sarcosuchus and Albertosaurus down there. But that's basically it. One thing I thought that was kind of interesting was this is Camp Cretaceous, so it's got the background with the elevator and the camp. But the T-Rex box is also Camp Cretaceous, right? You can see the Camp Cretaceous logos on here. But the background for this one's Primal Attack. You can see the fences and stuff. It's kind of interesting. That kind of stuff always sticks out to me. But let's go ahead and get Spino out. Hopefully it's not too painful to do on camera. I'm guessing his feet are screwed in, which is going to be a little awkward to get out, but that's okay. We can talk about this one a little bit. So yeah, Spinosaurus not out in US yet. I know we're all waiting for it. Some of us more patient than others. I obviously was not very patient. But it seems like it's going to get here maybe a little bit later in the spring or early summer. Spinosaurus is always super popular from Mattel. Ever since they did the Legacy Collection one, and of course the Battle Damage one. What's interesting about both those figures are they both had sort of a weird kind of release here in the States. Kind of were really hard to get. Oh yeah, got her out. Were really hard to get, and ended up being quite rare. Whereas in other countries, they were more available. So there is Spinosaurus out of the box. Again, this is the new Extreme Chompin Spinosaurus. I love the paint application on this thing. It looks awesome. It looks like a more accurate Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus in some ways. In other ways, it's a little bit more of like a sort of a desert theme, but it's got all the great articulation. It's basically identical to that figure. It's got the ball joint legs that move. So you can do all kinds of cool poses with the legs. It's got a tail that has a ball joint too. I would say this tail is very loose. I've seen people complain about that, and they're not wrong. This is a very loose tail. It doesn't really stay in place. You can see how it just falls. Mine's a little bit better, but I've seen some that are really loose. And this one is certainly looser than most Mattel toys. Then you have the arms that are on a hinge, rotating joint that let you do some pretty cool things. The sail's not articulated. Who needs an articulated sail? But the neck has got all those joints that let it do some really cool poses. Then, of course, you have that Extreme Chomp, which is the button on the back of the neck that makes it open. The tongue is free, kind of free floating in there. It can kind of move with the mouth, but earlier versions of this toy had the tongue just fixed right here. Some of it had that was the T-Rex where they did the tongue sculpted, but this tongue is now free floating. So awesome figure. Spinosaurus just looks so cool. Gotta find room for him on my shelf. He's a big one, but I love this version of the figure. It's definitely my favorite paint application wise. It just looks totally ferocious. Very, very cool. But let's go ahead and get out that T-Rex. I'm just as excited about that one. I can't lie. This is the Extreme Damage T-Rex, which if you're thinking Extreme Damage, I've never heard of that. Well, up until a few months, neither had we. Battle Damage has sort of been slowly dying here in the States. I know there was other Battle Damage figures that came out in other countries, but we haven't been getting Battle Damage for a while. And this Extreme Damage is kind of all new. And this T-Rex that came out for it looks like a ton of fun. So I already went over the Camp Cretaceous branding on the package. Again, we got a render back here of how that figure works. Shows the jaw, shows how the damage feature works, which I'll illustrate. But nothing too fancy with the box. It's more about the toy inside. You'll notice the tail comes unassembled. Interesting, the Spinosaurus didn't have the tail unassembled. It came in the box, which makes the box larger. But for this one, this is the Extreme Chompin T-Rex like mold with some new action feature. It's always come with its tail disassembled, so that's probably why this one came that way. I'm guessing this one has screwed in feet as well, so I'll have to get to the bottom of the box here somehow, some way. This is going to be tough, isn't it? Another thing I thought was kind of funny about these Camp Cretaceous boxes is they didn't have the card with them, which I'm okay with because at this point I have so many of those cards. But I just kind of thought it was funny that even though they have Camp Cretaceous all over them, they don't come with that card. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to completely mangle this box trying to get Rexy out of here. So if you like mint packaging, avert your eyes. Man, they have this thing in here. Sorry. There we go. It's really getting messy here. Let me get the tail out too. Maybe the tail's kind of in the way. There's the tail out of the way, which we will assemble here in a second. Man, this thing is in there. Okay. Oh. Wow, that was difficult. So the tail goes in here. It kind of gives balance to the whole thing. So we'll basically just put the tail in. Make sure I have that all correct. Just goes in like that, right? So make sure I don't have the tail upside down. It's always embarrassing. Oh, the tail can rotate any way you want it, so not as important. I think the tail goes like that, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look at my other T-Rexes to make sure. Yeah, like that. So there's the T-Rex assembled. Wow, this thing is awesome. I love the paint application on this the most. It's just different than the other T-Rexes we got. But here's the side view of this T-Rex. You can see it's definitely just a repurpose of that Extreme Damage T-Rex. But what's really cool is this battle damage feature. So you can see the window here. I think I already have it set to the skin. Well, there's the skin. So if you can see here, you have the skin in there. But when you press this big giant button on the back of the hip, it becomes red gore, back to skin. Same exact thing on this side. You have the skin that becomes, let's see if I can press this down again, blood or skin. Oh, weird. It's kind of got like, oh no, it goes blood or skin. I thought for a second I was bringing up skin a couple times, but just alternating. Kind of a clever little feature. This, along with the battle damaged Spinosaurus, seem to have a really cool, innovative battle damage feature that a lot of the dinosaurs don't always get. Sometimes they just get that trap door. So this is like, kind of something new that's fun. If I had to be really critical of it, I mean, this is a great T-Rex. It looks awesome. It's just too bad that it has that permanent sort of destroyed slash marks on it. It kind of makes it a little unsightly, but it's still cool. It just makes it just look a little bit rougher. One thing that's really cool about this is the head, because it has completely posable jaws, which is a first for the Mattel T-Rex. So it's not tied to any sort of action. So you can open it up like this, or you can close the top jaw, or you can open the top jaw and close the bottom jaw. So you can do a lot of different poses with this one that the other T-Rexes don't necessarily have, because their jaw features seem to always be tied into, you know, an action, a button, something like that. So that's really cool. I think toy photographers will have a lot of fun with this particular Rex in that regard, just because it's so posable. But yeah, these guys look great next to each other. I mean, look, the sizing of the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus is actually pretty close to something like on screen, the T-Rex being a little bit smaller than the Spinosaurus, but not much. I mean, these guys just look fantastic together. Brand new, large carnivores from Mattel, looking very, very good, very, very ferocious. And you know, they just keep bringing those classic species back and making them so cool that we got to own them again, with the Spinosaurus having this awesome paint deco that kind of puts the others to shame. The T-Rex here with this killer battle damage feature that's just super fun. Making two great figures, two great large figures to fit in our collection, but not that expensive in the long run. I think T-Rex here runs about $25. Will be at Walmart. Spinosaurus runs out about 30, and will hopefully be at least at Target, if not a couple other stores. But yeah, I mean, these things look great with each other, and I'm happy that I could open them up today and share a quick look at them. All those cool features, all that awesome articulation that the Rex has with its jaw. Just really, really cool stuff. So I think that's all I got for today. So I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.